Hi guys, and welcome to a layers breakdown video where I pretty much run through the whole process and how I ended up with this result, specifically the three skulls here. I'll go over everything in details of the layer organization and such, but before I do, I wanted to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind this technique and the advantages it holds versus some of my other stuff that I do, which is a bit more painterly. And as a bonus, I'll show you how you can quickly make variants on the fly with this setup to get different looking results like these two over here from just one finished base. Now, the main inspiration that I took was actually from a game called Hades. It's quite a popular game and I'm sure a ton of you guys played it as well. It was something that I was very drawn into and I wanted to learn more about it and explore, having gorgeous colors, being bold, energetic, but also having visible inks and deep blacks. Inking isn't something that I'm usually doing in my pieces, so it's something that I'm still trying to get accustomed to. But as you can see here, breaking it down to its simplest layers, it consists of inking, base colors, shadows, highlights, and finally rim lights, followed by the occasional and optional deep blacks. So, as far as the layers breakdown goes for this piece, I try to stay as organized as I can so I don't confuse myself in the long run. And the first step that I did was the rough sketch. I did this in different layers as well, so this way I could alter anything if I needed to. For instance, if I needed to rotate sides up or down, or adjust anything specifically without altering the rest of the guys. I kept this pretty basic and rough, mainly because I just wanted to have these as quick placeholders and serve as more of a composition if anything. The following step was to do the inking, again trying to keep these guys in separate layers. This way I could edit or modify each individual piece when necessary and I don't have to worry about overlapping the lines as well. Now this is a stage where I have to admit I struggled a lot and took the longest, mainly because the art that I dish out are really more painterly looking. But I'm trying to zoom in and rotate the canvas and clean up the inking as best as I can. And as you can see, this is drastically different than what I'm used to, because when I paint, I enjoy seeing shapes, brushstrokes, textures, and using bold colors and mixing them up. But although I do use line work, it's actually blended into the final piece. If you're curious about these guys, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll run another layers breakdown tutorial on them. And that being said, there are a lot of brushes that you can use for inking. I currently don't have one that I truly recommend because there's not a lot of inking that I do in my process when it comes to my paintings. However, in general, I will say that brushes are great, but don't get too focused on finding the perfect brush. I've always seen comments on artist posts asking which brush they use to achieve a certain type of look and feel. But I do have to say that not all brushes will work in your favor. And although one brush may work well for one artist, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll work the same for another. And who knows, you can end up finding one that surprises you. Following the inks is the base color. That's when I also start taking notes on the side or wherever because I don't want to second guess myself if I'm stuck. I'm constantly jotting down stuff as I'm progressing through a piece, but this isn't limited to colors and layers properties, but also to what brush I'm using sometimes. I actually have a lot of brushes, so I do like to explore them as I'm running through a piece. Next is the shadows, and here I'm exploring colors and dropping them in, trying to create different shapes that would make the image pop a little. I'm also updating my notes to make sure that it's all the original colors as well, and this goes the same with the next stage, the highlights. I explore the colors, try out a few things, and eventually stick with one and again updating the notes layer to keep track of things. And then finally the rim light, which is just small bits of color that I'm throwing in just to give it a little bit more of a visual interest. It's just minor pieces that are speckled all around the area that isn't too overbearing at all. Now, why is it a good thing to work this way? Well, it's pretty simple. Because everything is broken down in layers, it's a lot easier to tweak things and create new variants instantly. And because you're going through just a few layers, it's easy to tell what's what and which one to tweak. So for instance, if I wanted to change this blue tone set of skulls into a more natural look, I could end up with something like this. And if I wanted to change it into a golden set of skulls, I could easily tweak it again by going through all the layers and adjusting the colors to get this result. I've done other work using this method that came out pretty neat in a personal project of mine, creating a few prop designs. And with just one set in stone, I was able to create a whole new set of variants as you can see here. Anyways, thank you for coming to my tech talk. I hope this small layers breakdown / tutorial is helpful. And if it was, like, comment, share, do whatever it is to make the algorithm like me. I'd greatly appreciate that. See you in the next one. Oh, and if you'd like to see the incomplete drawing from start to finish in real time, check out the original video without commentary. Later days.